The situation for Twomad's death got a lot worse with the evidence being poured out by both James Ski and Justin Minks. Except for Justin Minks, he got into a feud with James Ski, with Justin Minks calling James Ski a bit weird for pouring out all of this information even though Twomad has passed away. Now, for context, in my last video that I did talk about, which I'll leave a link to that in the description, the main reason why James Ski took so long to put all of this information out on the internet was because he didn't feel safe sharing this on the internet because Twomad already knew what James Ski's location was. Same thing goes for multiple people like Rubber Ross, Josh, and Mika Cat or Maya Cat. I forgot what his name is, but I'm gonna put it on the screen. When my friends and colleagues say that my life was in constant danger, they're not talking about quote unquote just threats. Just within a short time frame, I had a bullet hole put in my office window, was told to wear a concealed bulletproof vest when I'm in public, witnessed a SWAT team with ballistic shields outside of my home, and had to cooperate with an anti-terrorism unit when the rapist made implications of people's lives being in my control at TwitchCon, leading to the entire convention center being surrounded by police USVs. This isn't even all that I, my colleagues, and my close ones had to endure just to give a perspective. I don't think I need to explain why I was talking about it publicly, but if multiple people coming forward confirming what I said is true isn't enough, a lot of information is now public records and can be accessed by anyone. It was never a lawsuit at any point. There was court orders that led to multiple cases, civil and criminal. Once again, there has never been a lawsuit. A lot of these things are public records and always has been. It was never about money. He lied to the public and some morons ate it up despite court cases being public records. The justice courts in multiple jurisdictions deem it necessary to provide restraining orders over to protect the victims / witnesses and those around them. The burden of proof is on the prosecution and it was met in full. The courts issued multiple permanent restraining orders for many of his victims as he was vicious, unhinged, and violent, going out of his way to hurt not just his victims, but those who were close to them, all just to inflict maximum damage on everyone he's hurt. Twomad has been caught destroying evidence, sending threats to witnesses, and fabricating stuff to brainwash his audience. The judge shut down his lines during the hearing, and all of this is public records. Just a reminder that this guy got caught hiding in the court's cafeteria when he realized he would get to see one of his victims in person again. This is the same guy who was dancing on the grave of a murdered child just a year ago. This is the same guy who secretly recorded multiple videos of him committing crimes, including sexual assault and pointing a gun at one of his victims. He shared those videos with friends but was mortified to find out the court had gotten hold of them. This is public records once again. I was told the arrest warrant was supposed to go just before the final overdose. There are multiple reasons why it took so long. The main reason being that the investigation involved many jurisdictions in multiple states and the amount of everything they had to go through has been insane. Outside of direct messages, phone calls, and live streams, he's tweeted over 17,200 times since early August alone. Also, some people interfered with the investigation, and I'm waiting on confirmations whose names I can bring up today. All while a lot of information is public or will be soon made public by the authorities. Please don't bring up the victims' names and don't wish ill will on Twomad's family. I can't stress enough that despite what he put me and others through, leading to my health complications that made me end up in ER, I've been actively making sure he doesn't overdose, and while the DAs were preparing everything for prosecution, we're going to great lengths to make sure he doesn't get hurt and gets the help he needed. Meanwhile, his rabid fan base have been encouraging him to continue what he was doing, attacked his victims directly, and encouraged others to do the same. This isn't the hill you should die on. Stay safe. And here are the photos that James Ski provided with the tweet. This is the SWAT team with the faces being censored, the bullet hole in James Ski's office, the papers involved with the prosecution, and the medical bill that he had to pay for his trip to the ER. One of James Ski's friends, Weast, said, "Why didn't you post this sooner?" Because a lot of people were saying this right after James Ski made this confirmation yesterday. And then he says, "This is why." James Ski replied to Weast's reply saying, "I have a tungsten cube and it ain't as dense enough as some people, man." Not Souls Live says, "I really think some people need to see there's a big effing line between a Twitter call out and finally being able to publicly talk on an active court/law situation because Jesus, some people have been so dull about this." Again, hope you're doing all right, man, and stay safe. The guy didn't surrender his illegal firearms when he was ordered to do so. Now, the controversial interaction that Justin Minks has made with James Ski's statement that Twomad was a very psychotic person to deal with, her quote tweet gaining 53,000 likes with her saying, "As someone who's experienced it firsthand and spoke about it, I think this tweet is effing insane. Not even even 10 minutes after they announced his passing. I support the lawsuit that's happening, but quote unquote, I can finally say it after he just passed is crazy. This is just weird. One of Justaming's fans, Tested Cyanide, says he has been wanting to talk about this for a long time and couldn't because of the lawsuit. Twomad's death let him feel relief too. Not everyone is as conflicted as you are right now. Justaming says Twomad effing stalked me until he passed away. I felt relief too, but speaking on an hour after he passed, weird. Keemstar made a tweet about Minx talking about Twomad a couple days ago before he passed away. Justaming makes a tweet saying, why is homie in love with me? Does he like older women now? You have a lot of nerve and a lack of shame to post this right after you attempt to cancel Jameski with the many years of torture and worry that he has been feeling after Twomad knows where he lives. And not just that, but it's multiple people as well. You got Rubber Ross, you got Josh, you got Kiwi, and then yet you're posting this to make your fans forget what you just said. With a tweet posted by Justaming saying, I don't know how to feel right now, Jameski quote tweeted Justaming's tweet saying, just got a full confirmation that I can tell the public. You actively interfered with investigations and assisted Twomad by revealing him confidential information provided by the authorities, and that you also encouraged him to kill himself for hours, days before the tragedy. You even talked about it on streams. Of all people, she knew that there was never a lawsuit. In fact, she has contributed quite a lot to a lot of stuff that happened over the years involving Twomad and his victims. She switched sides back to back. This was her just a few days ago, by the way. And this is what she said in this clip that I took some notes just so I can remember what this video said. I think she's trying to call because he's a no-lifer, which I understand because he has none. With two of his fans saying, sounds like revenge, hope he gets help. That was also part of chat. Then she said, sure, if you support our word and him holding a gun to her head, yeah, I hope he gets help too. And by help, I mean, I hope he learns how to tie a noose. And then she sugarcoats this by saying, in a video game. Only way I could have interfered in investigations is the reports I made to the LAPD of him stalking / threatening me and mentioning other cases. Show your proof, lad. Loose flash, he did. Okay, you missed the entire thing. I asked the police to do something and they said until it's a break and enter, they can't do anything. This is one image from the lawsuit. At Jameski, can I show the rest? Here are the screenshots of the amount of times that Twomad is called, and here are the images of Twomad holding his weapons for selfies. Now yes, you do have the legal liability to show your evidence that you are a victim to Twomad that's been stalking and threatening you with his weapons, but what doesn't make sense to me is that you're running away from your past statement for calling Jameski weird or making this claim that Twomad was both a rapist, a pedophile, and a psychotic person to deal with both online and offline when he's trying to enjoy life in peace. He couldn't share this evidence publicly because he felt threatened by Twomad. Twomad already know his location. And yet, you're treating this as if it was just like an attempt to cancel Twomad even though he passed away. Now, yes, my condolences to Twomad's family for the unfortunate loss of Twomad. He died at the age of 23, but it doesn't excuse his actions for threatening people for the sake of trying to get what he wants. You were aware that Twomad was stalking you, whether it's through socials or in real life. I understand that. You also feel this sense of anger that you want him gone just so you could have this peaceful life that you always wanted. What's out of character was that you said in your stream that he should tie a noose in a video game, but you sugarcoated that to not make yourself get canceled on Twitter or try to put down your career accidentally of what you just said. Jameski was on the side of giving him the help he needs before anything that he does goes from bad to worse. You can't just run away from what you just said to not make yourself look like the bad guy, alright? You should be having this feeling of relief that Twomad is gone. I understand that. But you were switching sides from one of your clips and streams and also on your tweets. You can't just run away from what you just said to not make yourself look innocent. How is Jameski going to the ER not enough evidence to prove that he is a victim to Twomad stalking and threatening his life, including with a couple of people that are also victims of Twomad? It doesn't make sense to me. And I do hope that you have a video to provide your claim to back up of what you just said, to not make yourself look like you're going to that you're voting for the opposite side, because it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for the people that you are friends with. It's not looking good for your career. And I hope that everything you said should change of how you view now that Twomad has passed away. That's all I wanted to say for this video. This is a follow-up video from my previous video that I made. I'll leave a link to that in the description. A lot of information is poured out, and once again, I do hope that the people who have unfortunately became victims of Twomad's presence can recover from this. And it's sad. It's sad that this is happening, and we're not even done with 2024 yet. We're not even done with February yet. That's all I gotta say for this video, and Justaming, do better.